TV soap news and spoilers say that in the sultry, intrigue-laden world of Beyond the Gates, where secrets fester like wounds and alliances shift like shadows, the saga of Derek's deception has captivated audiences with its slow-burning tension and emotional devastation. At the heart of this gripping narrative lies Drerek, a man who has orchestrated a masquerade so intricate, so audacious, that it threatens to unravel not only his carefully constructed life but also the heart of the woman he loves, Ashley. The revelation of Derek's secret, that he is no longer paralyzed, sets off a chain of events that exposes the fragility of trust, the weight of betrayal, and the cost of ambition. This article delves deep into the dramatic unraveling of Derek's secret, the seismic fallout with Ashley, and the intricate web of relationships that define this unforgettable storyline. A miracle shrouded in secrecy. Derek's story begins with a miracle, a rare and inexplicable gift that should have been a cause for celebration. After a catastrophic accident that left him confined to a wheelchair, his prognosis was grim, a life of immobility, dependent on others for even the smallest tasks. The world pitted him, none more so than Ashley, his devoted partner, whose love and unwavering support became the anchor of his existence. But unbeknownst to her, Derek's body began to heal in ways that defied medical logic. Sensation crept back into his legs, first as a faint tingle, then as a surge of strength that promised freedom. It was a miracle, a second chance at life. Yet, instead of shouting this triumph from the rooftops, Drerek chose silence. He chose deception. Why would a man conceal such a life-altering truth? The answer lies in Derek's psyche, a labyrinth of ambition, fear, and cunning. Drerek is not a man who plays the short game, his mind is a chessboard, and every move is calculated. The accident that stole his mobility also gave him something unexpected: power. In his wheelchair, he became a figure of sympathy, a man whose vulnerability disarmed those around him. Colleagues lowered their guard, rivals underestimated him, and Ashley's devotion deepened. But as his body healed, Drerek saw an opportunity to wield this power in secret, to manipulate perceptions while plotting his next move. His recovery, he decided, would be his trump card, revealed only when the moment was right. The decision to hide his recovery was not made lightly. Drerek wrestled with guilt, knowing that every day he sat in that wheelchair was a lie to those who cared for him most. Yet, the allure of control was too potent. He convinced himself that the deception was temporary, a strategic necessity until he could reclaim his place in the world on his terms. But secrets, like cracks in a dam, have a way of widening under pressure. And in Beyond the Gates, pressure is never in short supply. The keeper of the truth, Shanice's piercing gaze. If Drerek thought he could keep his secret buried, he underestimated Shanice, the one person in his orbit with an almost supernatural ability to see through facades. Shanice, with her sharp wit and unerring intuition, is a force of nature in Beyond the Gates. She is not swayed by charm or distracted by theatrics, her eyes cut through the smoke of deception like a blade. It was only a matter of time before she noticed the subtle signs, the way Derek's hands lingered on his thighs, the fleeting tension in his legs when he thought no one was watching. Shanice didn't need a confession, she saw the truth in the way Drerek moved, in the way he avoided her gaze when she pressed too close. When Shanice confronted Drerek, the air crackled with tension. She didn't accuse, she stated. "You're not paralyzed, are you?" she said, her voice low but unyielding. Derek's heart pounded, but he tried to deflect, his words smooth as silk. Shanice wasn't buying it. She had seen too much, felt too much. In that moment, Drerek realized his secret was no longer his alone. Shanice, however, chose not to expose him, not yet. Her silence was not a gift but a warning, a reminder that she held the power to unravel his carefully woven tapestry. For now, she would watch and wait, her loyalty torn between her friendship with Ashley and her complicated respect for Derek's audacity. The catalyst, Jacob's discovery. The fragile equilibrium of Derek's deception could not hold forever, and the catalyst for its collapse came in the form of Jacob, a man whose presence in Beyond the Gates is as disruptive as a storm. Jacob, with his relentless curiosity and unapologetic bluntness, is not one to let secrets lie dormant. His arrival in Derek's life was not by chance. Jacob had been circling, sniffing out inconsistencies like a bloodhound. Perhaps it was a flicker of movement, a moment of carelessness when Drerek shifted in his chair, or a whispered rumor that led Jacob to dig deeper. Whatever the spark, Jacob's discovery of Derek's secret was as inevitable as it was explosive. The confrontation between Jacob and Drerek was a masterclass in tension. Picture the scene, a dimly lit room, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Jacob's eyes burned with a mix of triumph and disgust as he laid out the evidence. "You can walk, can't you?" he demanded, his voice a low growl. Derek's face remained impassive, but inside, his mind raced. Deny? Deflect? Confess? He chose defiance, a gamble born of desperation. "You don't know what you're talking about," he said, but the tremor in his voice betrayed him. Jacob didn't need to push further, he had seen enough. The truth was out, and with it, the power to reshape Derek's world. Jacob's discovery was not just a personal triumph, it was a ticking time bomb. The question now was not if the truth would reach Ashley, but when, and how. Jacob, torn between his loyalty to Ashley and his own moral compass, faced a dilemma. To tell Ashley would be to shatter her world, to expose the man she loved as a liar. To stay silent would be to complicit in Derek's deception. The weight of this choice hung over Jacob like a guillotine, and viewers could feel the tension building with every episode. Ashley's world shattered. Ashley, the heart and soul of this storyline, is a woman whose love for Drerek has been both her strength and her vulnerability. She has stood by him through the darkest moments, her devotion unwavering even as the weight of his supposed disability strained their relationship. Ashley's life revolved around Derek's needs, her dreams deferred to support his recovery. She believed in him, believed in them. So when the truth came crashing down, it was not just a betrayal of trust but a demolition of her entire reality. The moment of revelation was gut-wrenching. Jacob, unable to bear the weight of the secret any longer, chose to tell Ashley. He did so not out of malice but out of a belief that she deserved the truth. The scene was raw, visceral, Ashley's face, a canvas of disbelief and pain, as Jacob's words sank in. "He's not paralyzed, Ashley. He's been lying to you. To everyone." The silence that followed was deafening, a void filled only by the sound of Ashley's heart breaking. She didn't scream or cry, she simply stared, as if trying to reconcile the man she loved with the stranger Jacob described. When Ashley confronted Drerek, the air was thick with betrayal. Drerek tried to explain, his words tumbling out in a desperate bid to salvage what was left. He spoke of his fear, his need to protect his future, his belief that the lie was temporary. But Ashley wasn't listening. To her, every word was another wound, every excuse a reminder of the months she had spent caring for a man who didn't need her care. "You let me believe you were broken," she whispered, her voice trembling with rage and sorrow. "You let me love a lie." The fallout was catastrophic. Ashley, who had built her life around Drerek, walked away, her heart in pieces. The love that had once defined them was now a casualty of his ambition, a sacrifice on the altar of his deception. Viewers watched, hearts in their throats, as Ashley's strength emerged from the ashes of her pain. She was not a woman to be defined by her heartbreak, she was a force, and her departure from Derek's life was a declaration of her own worth. The ripple effects. Derek's secret, once exposed, sent shockwaves through the world of Beyond the Gates. Relationships fractured, alliances shifted, and the delicate balance of power tilted. Shanice, who had known the truth but chosen silence, faced her own reckoning. Her decision to protect Derek's secret, even temporarily, strained her friendship with Ashley. "You knew," Ashley said, her voice cold. "And you didn't tell me." Shanice's defense, that she wanted to give Drerek a chance to come clean, was met with silence, a chasm that may take seasons to bridge. Jacob, too, bore the consequences of his choice. While he had acted out of loyalty to Ashley, his role as the truth-bearer made him a target. Derek's allies, those who had benefited from his deception, viewed Jacob as a threat. The tension between the two men simmered, promising future conflicts that would keep viewers on the edge of their seats. For Drerek, the exposure of his secret was both a liberation and a curse. Free from the weight of his lie, he could finally stand, literally and figuratively. But the cost was steep. He had lost Ashley, the one person who had loved him unconditionally. He had lost the trust of those around him. And he had lost the illusion of control that had driven his deception in the first place. As Drerek stood on his own 2 feet, he faced a world that no longer saw him as a victim but as a manipulator, a man who had gambled with the truth and lost. The long game unraveled. Derek's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of playing the long game without considering the human cost. His decision to hide his recovery was born of ambition, a desire to control his narrative and reclaim his power. But secrets, as Beyond the Gates so masterfully illustrates, are living things, volatile, unpredictable, and impossible to contain forever. Derek's miracle, which should have been a source of joy, became his undoing, a reminder that even the most carefully laid plans can crumble under the weight of truth. For Ashley, the journey forward is one of healing and rediscovery. Her heartbreak is not the end but a beginning, a chance to redefine herself beyond the shadow of Derek's deception. The audience roots for her, not just as a victim of betrayal but as a woman who will rise stronger, wiser, and unapologetically herself. As Beyond the Gates continues to unfold, the fallout from Derek's secret promises more twists, more betrayals, and more moments of raw human emotion. The question now is not just how Drerek will navigate this new reality but whether he can redeem himself, or if redemption is even possible. For Ashley, the path is uncertain, but her strength is undeniable. And for viewers, the saga of Derek's secret is a reminder that in the world of Beyond the Gates, nothing is ever as it seems, and the truth always comes at a price.